you and Ravanti and myself are here to keep you company. How's it going, Rav? How did your race go? How's
A lot
Kimberly
better
this
than
evening?
expected. Kimberly has been fine. Actually, very, very hot. I was sitting in short sleeve for the whole race.
Okay, great.
but,
Middle of South African
but
winter.
yeah, it was a tough one. Yeah, our winter lasted 2 months. It started at the beginning of June, and it is now finished. It feels like summer weather here at the moment. It's terrible. I'm scared for what the actual summer is gonna be.
Okay, and how did your race go?
It went a lot better than I expected. It's been a busy week since my grandmother's birthday, and with my family, the party goes on for a solid like at least 5 days. So I haven't been having time to practice or whatever the case. So, but
Yeah.
it went a lot better than expected. Started qualified 10th, finished off in 4th, battling RBS GT for that fourth place position. But
Okay.
I held on. I defended like a damn lion.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting ready to start qualifying for Pool 1. So does that mean you're in Pool 1 next Nations race?
Yes,
You're
it
supposed
does. It
you
does.
fired 10-second penalty.
Yeah, 10-second penalty will actually get me to 5th.
There we go.
But yeah, I'm scared for the start of the race here, as everyone is qualifying. This first corner caught out many people, myself included. I had engine damage for a full lap, so that's why I say I was very lucky to come out in 4th place, because I think RBOs might have also had to do an extra pit, maybe even two, with the heavy damage. So that's gonna change the dynamic as well.
Oh, good stuff. I'm just glad that I was in a pool that allowed traction control and didn't have heavy damage, because otherwise I think I'd still be racing till next week. Now, I made a couple of silly spins. I don't know why. The last turn with the softs, I seemed to spin quite easily there. I did a few practice
Last
laps
corner
this evening.
very easily.
Early in the race, I spun there, and then I spun there right towards the end, but that was more, my wheel like half a second disconnected. So I went drifting into the corner, it just turned right, and then I had to plug it in and try reverse and stuff, but I lost like 20 seconds because of where I was. I had to do like a 3-point turn. But yeah, I wasn't going anywhere anyway. I don't think it made much difference at the end of the day. It was more the fact that I did more race. The race was longer than my practice. I think I did about 15 practice laps.
I literally only got to start practicing like in the last like 3 minutes of the lobby, because like literally till tonight the family was still here. Like,
Gone US saying, how's it?
How's it, but I see. Go D-Man from sideways, RC drifting. How's it to Mark? Glad you guys could join. And yeah, it was a very cooked race and a chaotic first lap. I think we should have had a rolling start for this race instead of last week, because it's tough. The first, I think, 3 laps were wild, okay, to say the least.
No, the rolling start, grid start was good. I went from 4th to 8th when we only had 8 cars. Probably because I was on hards and I didn't do a practice start, so I generally don't use TC except for the starts, but I didn't use it on the softs when I was driving earlier, so when I started I didn't realize I was on hard, so I did about a 400 meter burnout down to the first turn.
Yeah, no, I was lucky with the start as well. Shifted early, and I honestly got probably the best start on the hard runners. Like, I went from, I think, 10th to 7th, just on the straight before the corner, and like I said, chaos ensued.
Okay. Now, looking at Pool 1, they halfway through qualifying. We've got Brunnevain's the first man on track. He's going to come around and said he's the first to set a lap, and then they should get another 2 laps in after this. Who do you think is the person to watch out for here? We've got Brunnevain, Sam. I saw Richard doing 27s earlier. Made me want to turn my PlayStation off.
Yeah, right. There's a 28-2 from Gilara as we cross the line.
We've got the Tire Whisper Stiginator should do quite well here. This was also my first race with the new physics, so I took my softs
Oh,
a little
wow.
bit too far. I raced the Last Nations race when the physics update came out, but that was the tuning in the old M3, so I didn't practice
Oh,
there
I see.
either, and I wouldn't have known what the car felt like before or after, but it wasn't a GR car. You know me, I like my...
Yeah, that makes a hell of a difference. Definitely. I know
So
you like your group cars.
there's a 28.1 from Richard first lap out. We got Jacques on a 28.6, 28.8 for S&P, 28.90 for GTRSA, Steve 29.9, then into the 30s for Chris, Ghost Killer, OJ, Stignator did his usual pit stop strategy, which I keep telling him not to because it's a minute 30 lap, so 6 minutes, and I gave 7 minutes, so even if you towards the back, you still got 30 seconds to change tires afterwards. But
Yeah.
but
I don't know.
anyway,
I don't know what it is. Like I think a lot of the guys think like, just in case they start off on the wrong tire.
I always
But GT7 has fixed that
advocated
issue.
it. Yeah, the problem used to be that if we had the manual start at 10 minutes, guys wanted to do a lap, go over the line with 4 seconds left, and then tell the host to wait to change tires. But then, rightly so, he would start the race, and then they'd be on the wrong tire. But now, if you look, and there's like now we can see there's who's last on track besides Stignator.
Oh, Killara goes into the wall and then on his outlap again.
Well, it's not going to help. But
yeah, he's probably going to pull into the pits.
More evening
Stignator
pumpkin
with a spin.
Yeah, so there goes he's one and
Evening
only.
Pumpkin, Rusty as well.
Will you get a flying lap? If he turns around now, he might just get one flying lap in, but I don't. He'd need to go quickly because he's got a minute, just over a minute and a half left, and he's still got to get to the line. He's waiting, rightly so waiting for.
What I can say about that last corner going onto the main straight, it's the camber that unsettles the car. The slight camber of the corner that unsettles the car. It sort of wants to bite with the right rear tire.
Yeah, Stignator's not going to get a lap in, so he just pulls over. Brunnevain's already pulled over. We've got Richard who's done a 28.0. He's 0.031 up. Can he get into the 27s again? Gets a little twitch here. That's probably going to slow him down. Brunnevain got up to second there with a 1/10 off lap. Ghost Killer's third, Jacques fourth, S&P fifth, GTRSA sixth, Sam seventh, and you're still currently eighth. Richard's not going to improve.
And I must say, Jacques is really showing up for SBR. As I say that, he goes into the bloody wall. Of course, it has to happen.
We had quite a few aborted last laps there. Does GTRSA improve?
Unfortunately, Ruan can't make it.
GTRSA does not improve. Sam might just, you'll have enough time to get over. You're still, I think, might be cutting it a bit too close for this lap.
He aborts.
Yeah, he aborts. Chris is still going. He should get over. Is he going to start on the softs? We'll see now. Hello, Kev, Sean.
This is the fun thing about the June Ali also setting a nice fast lap there. 130.02.
Improvement from Chris. He's seventh. Who's still got? Is anyone on a lap? We've got a few seconds left. The race should be starting.
Sam bumping a steel off there just for the sake of it. Let's hope that everything goes clean into lap 1. I just saw it on the stream now.
We've got everyone on the grid. So it's Richard, Brunnevain, Ghost Killer, Jacques, S&P, GTRSA, Sam, Steve, Chris, Steel, D-Man, Yanali, OJ, and Stignator. Looks like most of them get away
S&P
pretty
with a
smoothly.
fantastic start.
They're all getting through turn 1. I called you. Hello?
Yeah, hello? I hear you.
No, I can hear you now.
Chris had a terrible start there. Already starting off with damage way at the back. So I think he probably accelerated too early, and he's on the soft, so barring any other mistakes, that might be his race over.
Yeah, and as we know, there are going to be plenty of mistakes though, so never over.
Yeah.
You just will want to get into the pits and get rid of that damage. What tyres is he on? He's on racing soft as well, so that's a bit of a disaster. If he was on hards, at least he would have been able to get rid of his hards after one lap and still make a semi-decent strategy. So we got Richard in the lead. We got quite a tight group at the front. Branavan looking for a way past. S&P right behind him. Ghost Killer. Let's jump on board with...
Generally, and OGGDS with damage as well. Sorry to cut in there.
No problem. We're riding on the back of S&P 3 Pro. You can see Ghost Killer right behind him. And this is my favorite turn on the track. I think I've done about 10 laps on this track before this combo. I don't like the right direction, and the only time I've ever done the wrong direction was on the offline races. There's a couple here.
This reverse layout is it's very it feels so much more complex than the original racing track. But these fast cars, it makes it so much more for small margins of error and like proper driver skill. S&P catching up to Gillarobran in second now. Richard pulling a bit of a gap. Ghost Killer and GTSA top 5 staying very close to each other. Steve on the other end has a 1 second penalty.
Yeah, he must have cut across a little bit. He's also gone wide there, so he's got Shark right behind him now on his tail. And we're just going to go back to the front 5 for a little bit. Just see what happens first. Cav, Shark, and Steve and SBR Shark. Shark should just wait for him to serve the penalty at this next couple of corners, and then get past. We'll go. Steve's on hard, so that's why he's struggling a little bit, I think. We'll just have to see who's on what tires. So, how did you find the grip, tire-wise strategy? What's the right thing to do? Because
so the 75% fuel allows you to start in either hards or soft. Both of them are ideal to start with depending where you are in the pack. I think Jacques is the one that's gonna come off worse, as well as Chris there with his damage. But yeah, the dirty air also plays a significant part now as well.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Richard's on softs, Branavan's on soft, but Branavan has some front damage at the moment. S&P soft, Ghost Killer soft, GTRSA soft, so that, and Jacques soft, who's now ahead of Steve obviously after the penalty. So your top 6 on soft. Sam is in 7th on hards. Steve also on hards. Rick says hello. D-Man's on hards. Junelli hard. We are still hard. That's the joy of a husky.
Rex really wants to commentate as well.
Yeah, Rex just pointing out that Chris has damage, but we already noticed that Chris was on softs. OJ's on hard. Stignator on soft. He's pitted to get off his hards on the last lap, so I think he would have started on hards and done a lap 1 pit stop that we didn't notice. Richard got the gap up to 1.5. And then, yeah, we got a bit of a.
I think Lara's going to be
treat.
sort of defending that. The dirty air plus Lara's damage is going to slightly slow down SMP3 Pro, and Lara's probably using that as a strategy to give Richard more space to play with.
Yeah. Good evening to Shaheen in the comments. Nice to see you, bud.
I'm checking there's a lot of comments that came through. Good evening from Roadrunner, Sean, Crystal Estrazer, No 27 says Rusty. Kennels said he enjoyed the race. I hope your brakes are fixed to it, because I know Kennels had a bit of brake trouble not too long ago. Pumpkin Pat saying let's go 9VRs. Mark, I'm just going to go through all the comments quickly. Kennels had a 28.4 for the quali and done my first laps on this combo tonight. Same year, Kennels. It was quite a treat. Rusty said he did a 27.6 in quali. That's insane. And Wolfie just beat him to P1, and then all the chaos broke out from there. And he says, Kennel says the brake mod that he made seems to be working, so that sounds pretty nice. And Steven, we need the stream in 1080p.
Yeah. I'm not sure why it's not, but we'll check for next time. Maybe I set it down, or it's still set to my PS4 settings from 3 years ago. Out of the hard runners, Sam is 10.5 behind the leaders on his hards after 3.5, 4 laps. Coming up for 4. Someone just had a spin, I think, in the background there.
It was Sam.
And someone else.
Yes, beat us with a spin one race.
I think Sam spun, and then there it is, Sam there. Yeah, we're catching back up to him, recovering. We saw it in the back of the shot. So just as I was saying, Sam's the quickest of the hard runners. He goes and throws it into the towel. Barry R. Chris is now.
Yeah, it's becoming very much a Sam thing to go spinning around as well. It used to be my tagline in pace, so now it's going to be serious spinning.
Spinning Sam.
Spinning Sam, there we go. Speaking of, Stiganator as well with another spin. And he's having a tough time. As much as he's going fast on his softs, it's just not working out for him.
Yeah, that was like my start of the race. Couple decent laps and then spin and throw away all the time. But yeah,
yeah, and you lose a lot with these cars. Rex agrees with me. You lose so much time spin out with these cars, and they're such bulky boats that getting them back on track, Sam going for another half spin, gets some more damage also here at the back of the pack.
Just showing as S&P looks to get past Skilara. Side by side through the long sweeping church corner, as I was calling it to myself, because I had to try and name them so I could remember. Through 90 degrees.
Nice. We have to think of names for these corners on these original tracks.
Yeah.
But Gilara does hold the position. He's defending quite strongly from SMP there.
Through the S's into the last turn, deadly last turn. What's the last turn's name? Give us a
Deadly Camber.
Deadly Camber.
Deadly Camber.
Yes. I know another word with a C to alliterate with camber, but I'm not going to say it.
Crispy Camber, I don't know.
Turn one reminds me of Potter's Pass at East London. Just it's a left instead of right.
Oh, and as you went to check Ghost Killer Pace through turn one, SMP had a fine scrape against the wall, but no damage. That was a butt clincher if I've seen one.
I nudged that corner a couple times. The weirdest part is if you turn in where you expect to make it, you either cut the corner and get a half-second penalty for track limits, or you clip the wall. You've got to keep telling yourself to turn late. Yeah. Well, at least I didn't do what I did in practice. I went straight into the edge. Watching the skid battle for second at the moment. Richard's gap
and
up
there's a
to
battle for fourth as well.
Seconds.
GTSA and Ghost Killer.
Like you said, Branovan with his damage was probably losing half a second, 3/10 of a second a lap, and he's holding S&P up in the dirty air. Feel they should get about 8 laps here. Would you try risk undercut?
I think 7 laps.
7 laps.
7 laps would be ideal. I think that's if you could possibly get 8 laps, but I don't think it would be worth it. You'd be losing too much time saving fuel. So that's why I say odds. You would probably run maybe 4 or 5 laps on the odds, then switch to medium for 12. I tried a 13 lap medium stint, which seemed to work in my favor until I burned it into the wall. But yeah, and then I think the most laps you could probably eke out of the soft tires is probably 9 laps. So, but that's again where it loses a lot of time. In that, like with any group car, you do not want to run the tires at 25% or less. Like with these cars, you can get away with it slightly, but then it becomes pretty much the same territory as fresh hards.
Yeah.
Or slower than that.
There we have Cab, Steve, D-Man, Janelle, all pitting from the hards onto the mediums. Goniwe was saying, don't talk all at once. Was that to me and Rav, or to the guys in the chat? Because I don't think we were chatting together. Just I'm worrying now that the stream from one of us is lagging, that sounds like we're talking over each other. So Goniwe,
I think momentarily. And also, I think just towards the party chat itself, there's a slight little bit of delay, which I think, like, if you talk and then I talk, then there's a bit of delay between us. So that's something that we have to be trying to work out, but yeah, it happens.
Yeah, what happened tonight was that I was quickly making coffee, and Rav thought I hadn't opened a chat yet, so he opened one. So the voice is coming out of the Kimberley big hole tonight. We got the leaders in on their softs. Ghost Killer goes through for one more lap. He's doing the 8th lap that you suggested not to. Or not suggested not to.
It's possible. Ghost Killer actually saved his tires very nicely, so we'll have a decent in-lap here with this one. But yeah, we'll see. The undercut is going to be very strong with these tires, with these fresh mediums.
Mediums for Richard. What's Brunavane going out on? He's probably going to get jumped because he's
June only went on softs, by the way.
9BR GTSA jumped Brunner out the pits on fuel there. Chris is in on his softs.
Interesting. Oh yeah, Brunavane had damage as well.
S&P.
So he had to stay in a bit for another 3 seconds.
S&P's lost a second to Brunavane, even though Brunavane had to do damage. So maybe he's filled up. They've all filled up, so it must have just used more fuel.
I wonder maybe SMP made a mistake. Maybe he made a mistake, or he got damaged also towards the end of it.
Yeah, so let's Ghost Killer getting a bit slidey there. That's the other thing with doing one more lap. These tires don't just fall off in a linear way. They're progressively worse now.
Yeah, progressively worse is the way.
I did 5 on hards.
At the same time, chat is fine.
Okay. I did 5 on hards, then I should have stuck to 8, but I ended up doing 9 on softs, and then finished it off on the mediums. I think 11. So Ghost Killer goes in. We should have Richard regaining his lead here, especially with the fresh tires. Those mediums actually felt great on this track, surprisingly.
Yes, they did. They did feel very good on this track.
I know I was driving
and I see Richard did make up quite a bit of time. And you'll see GTRSA was behind Ghost Killer as they went in. Kilana going for an overtake on GTRSA as we speak. And Ghost Killer is going to be coming out of the pits right ahead. But what's going to happen into the first 2 corners? He's going to be ahead. But will he be ahead during the first corner? Goes defensive. Brunavane does go past. GTRSA looks for a move but doesn't make it happen.
1 second penalty for GTRSA
and SMP3 Pro.
SMP half a second.
Penalties for both of them. And he goes for another move as well. So a very close battle here for second place, containing 4 cars. And
they're all behind Brunavane again, but this time without damage. So if no one picked up damage through that turn, just a couple penalties. Shark is now in 6. He's on the hard at the moment. So he's going to have to go to
Shark might be planning. Yeah, he might be planning a good strategy. If the 4 in front of him continue to fight towards it, it might be towards his favor. I think the guys in front will be going to softs. To hards, sorry. And then Shark will probably go to the mediums and possibly gain a lot more pace against him towards the end of the race.
I see Levi in the chat saying this looks fun. How's it, Levi? We'll see him back next week for manufacturers. Good evening, Punkin, who's already said good evening. We got Cav Sean saying it was so fun.
I think we're gonna have to start throwing some extra weight into Levitius's Ferrari there. Rex agrees with me apparently. But good evening to you. I don't know if you were streaming tonight, Lev, but I think Lev has been grinding that daily race on the Nürburgring, which seems to be a hot topic now with the current GT7 settings.
The guys are loving that. Just while we're on the mid race, 40% of the way through, we haven't yet shouted out to our sponsors. So big shout out, especially to Rhino Utilities. They came to the party quite nice this season. We're going to possibly have a giveaway soon, as well as obviously our Mayfair Gearbox guys who always support, and then Right Recruitment, and we always give a shout out to Track Art and TGN because they just our long-term sponsors who've been consistent for like 6 years worth of prizes. So I actually haven't finalized anything with them, but I'm sure they'll give us race room vouchers or something if I ask anyway. You've been to the race room?
I actually found pictures. I haven't. Where is it based?
There's one in Joburg and one in Cape Town. Tribs knows where the Joburg one is. You must ask him to take you.
Benio says, yeah, Loki Rex be telling us what that the next race will have rain. Very interesting. So maybe that's where Steven gets his settings from. Rex decides what to do, and then Steven just throws a little berry spin on it.
No, I think they copy my settings, because this current daily looks a lot like my GTSA race from season 2 last year, I think. Jokes aside,
does feel like it.
Richard's was 4.5 seconds ahead before the pit stops. He's now 11 seconds. We saw Brunavane and S&P getting stuck behind GTRSA with the undercut there, so they lost a bit of extra time. Ghost Killer's third now. S&P and GTRSA served their penalties. They're fourth and fifth. It's just spread the pack a little bit, that 1 second and a half second. Jacques still hanging in there on his hards, 6th place. He's got Cav R. Steve right behind him now. We've got some of Steve's fan club watching tonight, and his son Sean, who was hosting Pool 6, so shout out to Sean and all the hosts. Pat on the back, because without hosts we obviously can't race.
And Shark actually lets Steve through there. He doesn't actually battle for it, doesn't fight it. So, very good sportsmanship. Yeah. I suppose it wouldn't be worth fighting on the hard tires. I suppose Jacques decided that it's not going to lose too much time by just letting Steve through.
Especially if you frustrate someone, you get a bit of damage from them nudging you, trying to get past. A much better idea on the hards if you see him closing quickly, just to stay out the way and possibly try to keep a slipstream for a lap or two.
Yeah, and there was a couple of moments that I saw in Pool 2 where, especially on the second sharp turn of the turn 1, well, turn 2 to be fair, that happened. A lot of people braking, like going wide, and like going side by side, and it's essentially like nudging each other off, but not maliciously. It's just that these cars are so boaty under brakes that it is very easy to understeer in those two, the first two corner, well, the second corner. Confusing my corners here. But Gilara now does pull a gap. He's now 2 seconds ahead of Ghost Killer. SMP is trying to catch up. He's putting Ghost Killer under pressure, decent enough pressure, and GTRSA is just trying to claw back as much time as he can. Does have a fair gap ahead of Steve. I think Steve will be coming out. Well, was it with the hards towards the end or with the softs? I'm not 100% sure.
Steve will be hards, I think. Stingnator's pitting at the moment. He's doing his last stop. He did the one hard 10 laps on softs now. He's got some damage on the front that's busy getting repaired, and he'll be on mediums, I think, till the end, 14 laps. But he was about a minute from the leaders, so he needs to get probably about 20 seconds back on Chris to get into that 12th place. Or actually, even worse, about 25 seconds.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, I realized we missed a few little comments there. The Vertius claims that his Ferrari is going to be very bad in the last three rounds. So we'll see. Depending on that, we might have to add some ballast on him. But he says his stream was had some good races. That's good. Kuniva says let there be monsoon rain. So Stephen, you see, there's some suggestions for the next race. Kendall says I have to say Pool 3 was very clean around me. Don't know about further back, but yeah, it can be a very chaotic race, the first 2 laps especially. But you can see, like, the guys, most of them have a very solid gap between each other. That's really just third and fourth. Ghost Killer Pace in SMP3 Pro, that's close behind each other. Then we got the 2 Pace boys, Yastiel and Sirius Sam. Sam picking up a penalty as I switch to him, with a second between each other. Chris catching up slowly but surely. Sirius Sam does have full front side damage though, both tires and the bumper. So Sam opting to have some frequent chats and strategy calls with Barry R during the race.
I see we got Wolfie in the chat. How's it? Welcome. Become race small. We're missing you. Pool 1 always use a Wolf in it.
Yeah. Wolfie actually just won the Pool 2 race as well.
Okay, so you'll be here this
proper
week.
Solid pace.
And then just
this
on
week,
the
2 weeks time.
On the manufacturers, you're saying monsoon for next week. I gave you guys the option for monsoon. I said light rain, medium rain, heavy rain, or no rain, or surprise weather.
Not a Notopolis.
And everyone voted for no rain.
Notopolis is scary.
Notopolis is amazing with rain. Just not if you're hitting the last sector on slicks. So
Not with the new physics. The rain is a lot more harsh this time around.
They might
But yeah,
just use weights
don't give
instead
us a
of
choice.
inters.
Just place the races.
Yeah. What is the next race? Is
You just have to
Monza.
place the
I can't
rain
remember
there.
what I put on the calendar. Come on, chat.
Yeah, I think it is Monza. I think so. I'm not sure. Ooh.
I know the last one is Goodwood.
Goodwood.
I thought let's do some tracks we've never done, which is while we at Sardinia A backwards, and while we have
are you
Goodwood.
bringing back the BB Raceway with the BMW i3?
No, don't do that.
I still have pictures of that race.
No, my name's not Josh. I don't come up with that kind of combo. Richards leads, grown by
Not
1
anymore.
second. It's 11%, 11 seconds. He is still looking good on his tyres at the moment, so I don't think he's got 10 laps to go. He can probably...
And look at the consistency in Richard's lap times: 1:29.6, 29.3, 29.4, 29.1, 29.5, 29.9. So he's just on autopilot, and the car's on rails.
He should get another 5 laps, 6 laps, and then put into 3 or 4 on the end on hards. Then we've got Brunnevan, who's got
to be fair, the mediums... Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just got up to 2.5 on Brunnevan, and then it's another 1 second back to S&P and Ghost Killer Pace. To Ghost Killer Pace and a second to S&P. Bit of a gap back to GTSA. Go for it.
Okay, so Steve with 6.8 seconds. I completely lost track of what I was saying before, but yeah, 3 seconds separate Steve and Jacques, and then another just about under 3 seconds separating Jacques. D-Man, 10 seconds between D-Man and Yasteel, and another 1.3 between Yasteel and Sam. Yasteel does go off, Sam does go off, getting a little bit of dirty tires there, but they're keeping it close together to each other. Sam picking up another 0.5 second penalty there, and Chris is loving the battle between the two of them because now he is back in the fight for the 9th position here at the moment.
Yeah.
Depending on if the others make any mistakes, if they have to make any other pit stops or so on.
I just got onto Yasteel, as you said, that driving with the 360 cam at the moment. We have Sam. I'm enjoying that pace delivery. The front end has serious Ferrari kind of graphic vibes. I don't know if
it does.
Talking about that, you're saying how big these cars are earlier. I was going to say it and I got distracted. I saw a picture the other day of the Ferrari versus the Ferrari F1, and it's actually smaller than the F1 car by about 10-12%. Can't remember what the number was. Here we have Chris.
These ones?
Yeah, these hypercars are smaller than an F1 car.
What? That is crazy. What are these big F1 cars these days?
Yeah, they're way too big. We got Shark into the pits on his hard. He's going to fit the mediums now and go to the end. I'm assuming what's he, lap 15? Yeah, is he going on mediums or hards? Mediums. There we go. Sorry, OJ coming in on mediums. I think he's going to do the opposite, or softs. OJ was on the hards at the start, so I think he's going for softs now.
Oh. Yeah, it's going to be very treacherous to manage those softs for 9 laps. It is possible, but he's going to be losing a lot of time towards the last, let's say, lap and a half. So we'll see. But it's a bit of a tough one because they're essentially fighting to keep out of relegation. I think June 12th he's going to be moving past Jacques, possibly, maybe not. Then you get Chris, Sam, and Yasteel that still have to put. That Jacques also on medium, and he's going to go to the end. So a very nice strategy call from Jacques there to stay in Pool 1. Rowan will have to try and climb back 2 weeks' time for the next Nations race. And then we'll see. Yeah, I might be missing the next Nations race if I think about it.
Of Pool 1.
Because I will actually be at Pool 1. Now that I think about it, because I might be at I might be in Joburg and I might be at Triv's place at the time, so maybe I'll still be able to join you for the stream.
How's this? Go to TGN with Trivs. Trivs will be working, so get Trivs to drop you off at TGN, and we'll get Vanna from TGN to let you use a rig for the race. But then you're never going to want to leave there.
Interesting. Oh, don't tempt me. I might actually do it.
No, we must do it. You can't commentate without being able to give feedback. We're just going to quickly get it back to normal race view. Gaps are still...
SMP is still keeping Ghost Killer checking his mirrors all the time because that gap's constantly flutters between 0.8 seconds to 0.5 to 1.2, so that gap is staying there. And so likewise to Gilara,
yeah, it's still 11 seconds.
The gap is coming down here and there, but it's relatively staying between the 2.5 to 3 second mark.
Yeah, I think they both lost about a second passing Stignator, sorry.
Yeah, the fuel Ghost Killer is going to be able to do another lap, and then I think one less lap on the hard. So the overkite work in Ghost Killer's favor here. We'll just have to see his in lap versus Gilara's out lap. How much time is going to be going around there? And as I say that, Ghost Killer pulls a 1.4 second lead against SMP. But like I said, the gaps are staying relatively the same. Steve and D-Man are going into the pits, and I think Steel, Sam, they will also come in, and I think Jacques might gain 2 or 3 spots here.
Steel's got a little bit of damage.
At all the battling.
Sam has a fair
Steel
amount.
And Sam. So let's see, where does Steve come out? Where does D-Man come out? They come out on Steve is on the soft tires. D-Man probably also will be on the soft tires. So Jacques does go ahead of D-Man as he comes out of the pit, but it's going to be soft versus medium, so maybe D-Man can claw in that time because it's not a big gap. Let's say 3 seconds from 8th to 7th, but he's going to be on cold soft tires for just about a lap.
Still
Jonali also losing out a lot of time.
Sam and Yastil also going onto soft. Chris on mediums. He's also should be going soft. Hards, sorry. Chris was one of the early.
Hards.
We got Richard in.
Oh yeah, he had to he ruined his soft and I forgot.
So 11-second gap between the leaders, both on mediums, both going to fit the hards. Actually thought they'd go a little bit longer, but there's not huge differences, especially once your tires get worn, so maybe just safety first. GTRSA is also in. Hards for Richard. SMP and Ghost Killer go through. I think
Ghost Killer might be on for a good run here.
P2.
Because I think he might be able to pull two laps out of this current fuel. Might be able to. Because I see he is shifting relatively early. And like I said, the 13 lap stint is possible on the mediums.
Here's also a lap later on the softs.
We'll see what that does.
He went in 1 lap later. He did the 8 lap first, and so you're right there. If he does an extra lap this time as well, even there it's 2 laps more on the 2 laps less on the hards. So we've got Ghost Killer leading from a second from SMP at the moment. Kendall's loving the specials. You have to practice, Uncle Ken. You can't just rock up and race, and you crash like I do. Richard is our default leader, just 12 seconds off, but having pitted. And it's Brunavane, 9 seconds from Brunavane to GTRSA. He's opened quite a bit of a gap there, that last stint on the mediums. Cav Steve, who's on the softs, he is 8 seconds behind GTRSA on hard, so he actually could get back into a bit of a fight here. He'll go SMP's going 1 lap longer. Ghost Killer's gone through, so like we are suspecting, he's going to get a 2 lap overcut. Let's see where SMP comes out. Yeah. Richard goes through, but will he be ahead of Brunavane?
So I know Richard is going to take the lead of the race when Ghost Killer goes in again. But the thing is, there was about, I think, a 2.5 second gap to Gilara Brain before he went into the pits. So we'll see. The undercut seems to have worked in SMP's favor, so it might work in Ghost Killer's favor. It's going to be very close, though. There might be an overtake going into turn 2, the tight short corner. So we'll see where Ghost Killer goes in on the next lap. But he is pulling a bit of an edge on Richard on the colder hard tires. So this might be an excellent strategy call. We'll just have to see how it plays out in the next few laps.
Yeah, we saw that previous race with the cold tires were either nations or manufacturers, I can't remember, but I think it was a nations race in the BMs. That first lap out in the hard tires was a bit slippery and your guys with warm tires caught up a fair amount.
100%.
Where's Ghost Killer?
I think Kuniwe saying Berry Specials are goated, although he didn't get the Fisherman's Ranch with GR1s.
No.
I'm very curious about that combo because I've seen him mention it a few times. Has this man been practicing Group 1 on Fisherman's?
Ghost Killer's in, but that story was in GT Sport. It wasn't my combo, it was a community vote, so they left it open, and that was what was voted for, GR1 at Fisherman's Ranch, which we would have done it, but you can't fit dirt tires to a GR1, so we had to just change the track.
Oh, damn.
Would have been a legendary combo.
That's hilarious.
Okay, so Richard's through, he's ready through the first and second turn. Ghost Killer's out going into turn 1 with Brunavane going through. That's pit exit.
Contact.
Yeah, contact and a little bit of damage for Ghost Killer. Front.
Killara does get a penalty though, but that.
Yeah, you got a penalty for.
Right on his tail.
He had Ghost Killer coming out the pits in front, and he dived up the inside there. With the pace difference, he took the gap, but got a penalty, and Ghost Killer got the wall. So that should help S&P overall, I think, because he's right on Ghost Killer now.
Probably, S&P might be getting the closer cut second place.
It's a 1.6.
But then under the overcut did work.
Yep.
He gained about a second overall, but it probably, I don't know, it could have been more or less depending on if the situation was different. So we'll have to see. Gilara's going to try and want to get away. S&P does go for a move on Ghost Killer though. On the inside, doesn't make it happen. Unfortunately, Ghost Killer does have that little bit of damage. So you're not going to have the arrow to go through these corners as good as S&P can. At the same moment, Gilara is going to serve his penalty there. Already. Yeah, close. Gilara Brain goes. SMP3 goes through. Gilara does defend the position. There's a lot of contact. I don't think Ghost Killer is very happy with Gilara Brain's attack there. But in essence, he's going to get position back because of the lack of arrow now going on towards the straight, so he's going to go for the move again.
Same place.
Same place. Fortunately, there's more speed to be had now, and look at the amount of slowdown that Killer has to do because of it. Stevie, when we get this multi-class races, I don't think work properly in GT Sport. There's not in GT7. There's not enough players for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, they don't leave enough options there. Brunavane went and got a half-second penalty now, trying to chase down S&P. Let's see what's happening further back.
The damage loses you about half a second a lap or more. So Ghost Killer is gonna have to try and secure his 4th place position because GTSA is right on the attack. 3 seconds is not a long distance, so he's gonna see that gap coming down ever so slightly. So there is a chance for GTSA to grab 4th place as well.
Yeah, and Steve's been flying along at half a second to a second quicker, but his softs are starting to look worn out. We only got 3 laps left after this one. Jacques also on mediums, going at a good pace, closing slightly on Steve, then D-Man in 8th, Junali 9th, bit of a gap back to Sam in 10th, Yastil 11th, OJ 12th, Chris 13th, and Stignator 14th. That's your relegation spots.
I must say props to Jacques, because I think he's going to be my driver of the day personally, because he made that strategy work, and despite that, he's increasing the gap to D-Man on the softs, and he's closing the gap to Steve on the softs as well with his medium tires.
Yeah, Killer he's dropped back to 2 seconds after that second penalty. He's got a 2-second gap on Ghost Killer. It was unfortunate with Ghost Killer and Brunner because Ghost Killer won't be happy, but you come out the pits and you're doing 100 k's an hour less than the other guy.
It's a tough call to make. I was in that situation twice.
And that first corner, especially at high speed, you can't, even if you lift a little, you're still right up against the wall. So he did well to not push him totally into the wall, that he got full damage and stuff. That little side-to-side touch cost him a 1-second penalty and ended basically second, and it cost Ghost Killer damage, what possibly would have been a battle for second.
It's a very tough call at the moment.
Yeah, we'll see if it's reported.
But we'll probably have to look at a slow-mo.
From one view, I'm going racing incident. where both will be grumpy. But the
it's
replays
a
always
tough
show
one,
differently.
But and again, Ghostkiller's caught in the thick of it, just like the previous Nations race as well.
I mean, yeah, just on that, for RBS, actually, spoke to me after he watched the replay. What we didn't see the last time was he went wide and lost place, and he was laying Ghostkiller through, but Ghostkiller overshot or something and actually bumped into him, so he gave the place back. So that's why they lost 3-4 seconds in that previous race.
It was a case of trying to be good sportsmen from both sides.
They're trying to be nice, but you should have just gone.
But anyway, you should have just gone.
Because it ended up holding them both up again. S&P looks like he's pulling away from Gillara now. Richard's miles ahead, 16 seconds after all that drama. We have Ghostkiller coming under pressure, like you said, from GTSA. It's down to 6/10 with a lap and a bit to go. Steve's got the gap down to 3 seconds, but I think he's going to run out of time. That was 7.5 when they came out the pits with 4 to 5 to go. So he's done well, but not enough time there. On the softs, Jacques caught from 3 seconds to 1.3 to Steve, so that's closer battle, both on softs, but soft and medium. D-Man, the rest of it's a bit spread out. Steele's 1.3 ahead of Sam. Punkin saying he's driver of the day.
GTSA is biding his time. Yeah, GTSA did do well. He's gonna get the 4th position. Very close to Ghostkiller there. A little bit of contact. He probably doesn't realize that Ghostkiller has a lot of damage. But here's where the move is probably going to be made. He's going to have the slipstream.
If they fight a little bit, he'll probably go through. You're right, but Ghostkiller defends. We could have a great battle with 4-way battle on the last lap. Ghostkiller doesn't defend. He lets him through. Well,
I think
Steve's 1.5
for that last
now.
lap and a half. Yeah, for that last lap and a half, I think Ghostkiller was just like, it's gonna happen. Let's not compromise 6th place and just give the man for the 4th place position. But now he's gonna have to go hard defense again for this final lap because Steve is gonna close in very fast. Hard tires versus soft. As much as it's used softs, he's still gonna be much faster than those hard tires. And with the damage included, Steve is only going to gain more time towards this on the straightaways, as Ghostkiller doesn't have the aerodynamics that he needs.
So we're just going to quickly jump to Richard going over the line to take his win, 2nd or 3rd win for the nation season. Not 100% sure, but Richard's been flying lately, and he comes across 18 seconds currently out of S&P. S&P to Gillara, there's a bit of a gap. Let's see what happens with Ghostkiller. Does Steve get past? He's right behind him, 4/10, a couple of turns to go. Do you think he'll slipstream him before the line? I don't know, it's a bit tight.
Oof, I don't think so. It's too close. I think the line is too close. Oh, Ghostkiller runs out of fuel! So he's gonna lose 6th and 7th as well.
Jacques goes through. Unlucky Ghostkiller.
Oh, and that was probably something that Ghostkiller probably didn't check, trying to gain as much time as he can with the damage that he had. But in essence, with all that extra pushing, he lost a lot of fuel, a lot more fuel than what he thought he could. Still a respectable fight though towards the end.
June Alley made it on fumes as well. Steele takes 10th, Sam 11th. Relegation spots OJ, Chris Stignator, and then we had Ruan, who couldn't make it tonight. I'm sure he would have been in the fight for the win again. So
possibly,
it was
a solid race by the guys. I think it's gonna be called as a racing incident. The speed of these cars and things, it's so tough to call. You can't exactly go for the outside line. You would have to brake to pretty much stop position, and then you could factor in the part that SMP might have been involved in it. It's a whole myriad of things that could have happened. I think it was possibly the better takeaway. Still not the most ideal takeaway in that incident, but probably one of the better outcomes. But it is just unfortunate.
Yeah. shout out to everyone who watched. Thanks for joining us. Trivs, your driver of the day. We had someone say GTRSA in the comments. You were going with Jacques at one stage.
Yeah.
I think Steve also did quite a good
funny
alternative.
Enough, you did say Trivs, but you didn't Revs.
Rav. Sorry.
Yeah. Don't worry, that happens. But yes. I would say GTRSA and SBR Jacques, the two of them, done a solid job. I think like with minimal incident with GTRSA and Jacques just to pull a solid strategy by going soft hard to mediums, finishing off the mediums, really pulled him up a lot and edging Ghost Killer without who ran out of fuel towards the end of it as well.
Yeah, Steve went hard to medium to soft. Also the alternative strategy. Richard flying as always. I see the host is the end of the game. But yeah, looking at the fastest lap, Ghost Killer did a great job. Best lap was about 8 tenths off the guys he was racing, but he was fuel saving, like you said, on the softs early on. Last shout out to our sponsors, Rhino Utilities, Mayfair Gearbox, thanks as always. And then Right Recruitment, TGN Racing Simulators, and Trackart. Let's see what my daily reward
Thank
is.
You very much, sponsors. Thank you, Stephen, for as always keeping us curious about your combos. But yeah, this race was intense. Just to put it in one word, it was really intense.
Thanks to Chaos for my 10,000 daily credits. I was quite surprised. I got the Nations Cup winner, so I had 1 million credits when I logged in. Okay, everyone, have a great rest of your
very nice.
Thursday. We'll see you next week. Watch out for one or two
giveaways. Weekend, everyone.
1 or 2 giveaways coming up on Discord. So you actually need to be on Discord. I think we must make it that you have to claim it rather than just tagging people and waiting for them to notice. But I'll come up with a twist there as well. And then, Trivs. Now you got me doing it. Rav.
Appreciate it.
I'm missing Trivs on commentary. Shout out to Trivs.
Shout out to Trivs.
Stop working for Americans. Go win the 100 million lotto. You probably got it on your ticket. You just haven't checked yet. And Joburg guys, go check your lotto tickets and don't forget about admin. Okay, cheers,
Have a good one, guys.